Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my Top 12 Most Wanted Marvel Legends 2022 edition.
It's morphin' time!
So with my Marvel Legends rundown video coming this Friday, be sure to keep an eye out for it, I decided let's do kind of an easier video while I'm working on that much larger 145 figure Marvel Legends 2021 rundown. I thought let's do a most wanted Marvel Legends list. The idea is that these are Legends figures that I want to see happen. I don't know anything that's coming up beyond what's been revealed. I've seen rumors, I've seen listings, and I've taken some of that into consideration. There is like some hard, definite, these are coming figures, and they're not on the list because of that. But the rest of the list is going to be personal picks of things that I want to see in Marvel Legends. And this is a wide variety. I didn't just keep this just comic book. It's like mostly comic book, but there's a lot of variety in here. And I want to know your thoughts and what Legends figures you're looking to see them make in the coming future. So let's take a look. So I broke this down to be the top 12 because Soundout12, it's in the name. The other thing I decided to do is I split off my picks for a Build-A-Figure and a Haslab, just to make it a little more fair in the top 12. Now, I also cheated. There's two of these entries on the list that feature two characters, and that's because I'd like to see these two characters released alongside each other, as opposed to just individually. You'll see what I mean when we get there. So in actuality, it's actually a top 16. But anyways, points aside, let's get to it. So we're going to start with my Haslab pick. So what I want to see from Haslab, we've had, of course, the Almighty Sentinel, and we have the big-ass Galactus coming. I want to see something different for the next Haslab. I'm looking for not necessarily like another big action figure, even though Fin Fang Foom seems to be like the next logical pick. I would like to see the Fantasticar. There are multiple designs to pull from here, but I would love to see a 6-inch scale Fantasticar. We've gotten toys in the past for the 90s show and for Rise of Silver Surfer, which were different designs. I would love to see the Fantasticar. If not as a Haslab, it could also be sold as 4 deluxe sets with a Fantastic Four member each. So, you know, ideas out there for the Marvel team. But yeah, the Fantasticar is just what I want. I thought when they were teasing Fantastic Four that it might have been, and I was a little disappointed it was Galactus, even though I'm still getting Galactus. Initially I was like, oh, Fantasticar, and then it ended up being Galactus. So I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll get one day. Next up, my Build-A-Figure most wanted is Dragon Man. So Dragon Man's a character that I originally think, on the Frightful Four, which was like the counterpart to the Fantastic Four. It's made of villains. It's a character I've wanted to see. He did have a figure from Toy Biz way back when, and that figure goes for obscene money. Obscene money. And I would really like to see a new Dragon Man. Definitely, I think he's been on a lot of people's lists, so I'm just throwing him out there. He could be a Build-A-Figure. He could be a deluxe release like Thanos was, or like MODOK. I just want a Dragon Man, especially because he's been part of the Feature Foundation in recent years, so he's also a good guy. So honestly, Dragon Man, really cool character, really, I think, deserves a Legends figure, honestly. All right, so let's move into the top 12. Now, number 12 is a spoiler if you're not caught up on your Disney Plus MCU shows. So if you want to skip to number 11, you can use the chapter times in the description or on the timeline, or go to that timestamp. There we go. Okay, number 12. MCU Kingpin. This could either be the Netflix Daredevil version or the Hawkeye version, hence the spoiler warning. It's time for an MCU Kingpin. I feel like we got MCU Daredevil so long ago at this point, we probably could use a version 2 of him, but I specifically want to see Vincent D'Onofrio's version of Kingpin, whether again it's the Netflix version or the Hawkeye version. This is one of the best portrayals of Kingpin ever put to screen, and I definitely think that it's time for him to get a figure. Personally speaking, I would love the Hawaiian shirt look, just because it's the Hawaiian shirt Kingpin. It's amazing, okay? So, you know, that's a personal pick, but they could do either version. It seems more likely they do the Hawkeye version now, but maybe by the time Echo's series comes out, we could get a Kingpin. But yeah, that's my number 12 pick. All right, number 11 is going to be a weird pick for many. And in fact, I was surprised to put him on my list. It's Wonder Man. Wonder Man is one of those weird Avengers characters I don't think ever really has been great. I realize I have a deep-seated subconscious nostalgia for Avengers United They Stand, as that was my first exposure to the team in any form. And when I put together my favorite Avengers shelf, which is this one back here, we'll look at it in the Marvel video on Friday, but I put Wonder Man in there. And some friends question me why Wonder Man's always on my favorite Avengers shelf if he's not that prominent of a character, and the answer is apparently because of United They Stand. Not necessarily for the show, for the toy line. The United They Stand toy line was fun. The Wonder Man figure was cool because he lit up, his eyes lit up and his fists lit up, and he came with like the Wonder Man ring that was like wearable. So anyways, that all aside, I want to see a more classic Wonder Man. We got a more modern one, just an update one, different body, give him the pouches, maybe give him the sunglasses. I think Wonder Man with sunglasses looks cool, so plenty of options, but yeah, I want a new Wonder Man. That's the basic premise here. I don't know if this will ever happen, but he doesn't need too many new parts, so maybe it will. Okay, number 10. We're looking at Hawkeye's, specifically the David Aja look for Hawkeye. Now this could be one of two ways. We could have him in his superhero suit, which the MCU recently used in the Hawkeye series, or a variant of, or his casual look with a coffee pot. One of the other, the Matt Fraction David Aja run of Hawkeye is like one of my favorite Marvel comics now. I only read it recently, but I need a figure of one or two versions of Human Disaster Hawkeye because it's honestly one of the greatest interpretations of the character. But yeah, I think the superhero suit version's more likely, but I'd also like a casual one if Hasbro's really feeling fun. But somewhere along the lines, I would like one of these two Hawkeyes, just in a comic book style. Because I know we're getting the MCU one, but that's MCU. He's not blonde, so it can't work in the shelf with the comic guys. So anyways, either David Aja design Hawkeye. Okay, next up, number 9 is a double pick. Because I think, again, these two need to be made together. And I've been thinking about this a little bit too much, but there is a new Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming up, so it's about time to get comic book characters from the Guardians slipped into a wave, specifically Moondragon and Phyla-Vell. These two are two characters I wasn't too familiar with until the most recent Guardians of the Galaxy comic, and I really like both characters. They have really interesting power sets. They're a great power couple. I want to see both of them in the line. Heck, I'd take them as a 2-pack. I'm not really picky, but I think both of them make great action figures as well as being two characters that I want to see on my Guardians of the Galaxy shelf. 9B, we need new comic Guardians across the board. The last ones we got were in 2015 based on their 2008 looks. We need some updated comic book Guardians. And maybe with the trilogy of the movies wrapping up, we'll start seeing that slip out, kind of like how we've gotten more classic Avengers now that the main Avengers movies are kind of done for the moment. So I'm hoping we see more Guardians of the Galaxy comic-based figures in Marvel Legends, but specifically Moondragon and Phyla-Vell, that's my number 9 pick. Number 8 is another MCU figure, this one being Agent Carter from her TV series. I know we got Peggy Carter in a 2-pack with Captain America based on First Avenger, and that was fine, but let's get her in the blue coat and the red hat. It's iconic, even if she only wore it like once in the series itself. It's iconic enough because they put it on all the posters. So why not get a figure of Peggy Carter in this look? I don't know if the demand is there necessarily, but the Agent Carter series is fantastic. If you haven't checked it out, I really recommend it. It's one of Marvel's best shows. And I would really love to see a figure of Peggy Carter in this look because I think it's more dynamic, more striking, and more iconic for the character. And you know what? She's been long enough in the MCU that she deserves more than just one figure as a pack-in in a 2-pack. So let's do a TV show Agent Carter. Number 7, we start my little binge of X-Men characters. Number 7 is going to be Daken, the son of Wolverine. He's gotten Marvel Legends before, I think it was Hasbro. They did the Dark Wolverine version, and then they did like an unmasked version. Let's skip the Dark Wolverine stuff, and let's do his X-Factor look, which is his most recent look. As far as I read X-Men stuff in trade, so most recently he was in the X-Factor comic. Completely kind of a different characterization. He's developed from being like Rage Beast to kind of like a chill sort of Agent of Chaos, and I like the newer version that has appeared in the X-Factor comic, so that's the version I'm going to go for. But in general, we just need a new Daken figure, period. He's, I think, iconic enough at this point that he deserves a better figure than old Dark Wolverine Daken, which is not what defines him anymore. So I think it's about time, and he deserves a new updated Marvel Legends figure in one of these waves. Number 6, we have Gabby Kinney, aka Honey Badger, aka Scout. Also, what a downgrade of code names from Honey Badger to Scout. So we're gonna keep calling her Honey Badger. Anyways, this is Laura Kinney's sister, who also has the part of the Mutant X program to try to replicate Wolverine, and she is adorable. She is fierce and she is hilarious. I loved her in the all new Wolverine comic as well as X-Men Red, and I like that she's propped up again now in New Mutants. So she's been around, she's been prominent. We have a ton of Wolverine variants. She can kind of count as a Wolverine for a wave. Let's get Honey Badger into the line. Specifically, I'm looking for the X-Men Red costume, but it could be any of them. I just want to see this character somewhere in the Marvel Legends line. Number 5. This one's been on my list for a while because she's been around a while. It's a character I first learned about through the X-Men anime, but it is Armor. And Armor is, I don't know how they would do a figure of her because her whole thing is she has this extra red armor that comes around her body. It's doable. They have been doing incredibly cool stuff with Marvel Legends lately. There is stuff that I never thought possible, like a 3-foot tall Sentinel or a 3.5-foot tall Galactus. So why not Armor? There's a way to do it. I don't know what it is, but I think they can do something. I would really love to see Armor. I know a lot of people would because I see her a lot on lists, so I'm putting her out there. She's been around long enough, and I think she's been a prominent enough X-Men character that Armor should get a Marvel Legends figure. Number 4 is another combo pick, Franklin and Valeria Richards. Now these are Reed and Sue's kids, and they've grown up recently. They got them up to teenage age in the comics, and they have their own code names, they have their own powers, they're doing their own thing, so let's give them new Marvel Legends. They could be in the modern costumes. We already have that costume set for the Fantastic Four themselves. But Franklin and Valeria, somewhere in Marvel Legends, needs to get made because I think they're an important part of the Fantastic Four family. And honestly, because they have superhero code names, which are blanking on me for a while because they've just been Franklin and Valeria for so many years now that I'm trying to remember what their names were. But anyways, point is, these two characters definitely deserve Marvel Legends figures, definitely deserve to be in the line, and I really want to see them very, very much in Marvel Legends. Rolling into the top 3, if you can guess that number 3 is one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time, She-Hulk, specifically in a Fantastic Four uniform. I see like this is an obvious thing. Like when they were doing Fantastic Four at Walgreens, I thought, oh, they're probably going to slip a She-Hulk in there. But nope, we've gotten other She-Hulk figures over the last few years. First was the Air Force box set, then we got, the more modern gray one, and then a green repaint of that. Where's the Fantastic Four uniform one? I feel like it's obvious at this point. We now have a Fantastic Four in blue and white, so where's the She-Hulk? Put her on the retro card. I don't care. I'm ready for a She-Hulk in a Fantastic Four uniform. She's been a substitute for the Thing on the team enough times that it's definitely worth doing, and it's been done before by Marvel in the Hasbro days, so She-Hulk in a Fantastic Four uniform. Get to it. All right, number 2 is a very recent thing that is going to be just kind of like an oddball pick. It's a video game character. It's Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy game. I love the design of this character, from his jacket, to the way they did his rocket boots, to his element guns, to the redesign of the mask. And this is honestly, like, if we're not going to get updated comic Guardians, just give us the Gamerverse ones, because all of the ones in the game look so great. It's a game that has alternate costumes, but I rarely swap the costumes because I really like the base looks, and I would totally take a whole set of Marvel Legends for them. But specifically, I do want Star-Lord. It's time to get a new Star-Lord on the shelf that's not that old Thanos Imperative box set one that got re-released in another box set. Let's get Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy game. I think you make a great looking figure. Again, Guardians movie coming up. Why not throw out some more figures to tie into it? I know we got the Miles Morales Spider-Man from the video game a year after the game came out, so I'm hoping we're not just, I hope we don't miss the window there, but let's do it. Let's get video game Star-Lord into the line. Absolutely one of my favorite designs for the character, and absolutely one of the figures I want the most. And the number 1 Marvel Legend that I most want to see in the line has been unchanged for years, and I'm waiting for the day this is going to happen. Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes. The Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider has been around. He's been in the MCU via Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is a character who's been making traction. He's in Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is the new game coming up. He's an Avenger in the comics. He is around. He is prominent. He's been here. And I feel like Hasbro's holding him back because they want to make the car with him. So if that needs to be a Haslab, I don't care. Tell me when and where I can give you money for Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. Car or no car, this character needs to be in this line. He is a prominent version of Ghost Rider. He is my favorite of the Ghost Riders. And I don't have a Ghost Rider figure of Robbie Reyes. So, you know what? Make the MCU version too while you're at it. It's been waiting long enough. So, you know, whatever version, Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider needs to be a Marvel Legends figure. I will buy it without a car. I know people complain that Ghost Rider didn't have a motorcycle when he was part of the Rhino Wave. They fixed that later. But I know cars are hard to do in 6-inch scale because it's big, it's a lot of parts, it's expensive. But like, just release him on his own. He runs around on his own without the car enough. It's worth doing. So that's my number one, and that's my list. Let me know what your list is in the comments down below. Tell me what your most wanted Marvel Legends figures are from across the Marvel multiverse. And also be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because on Friday, Marvel Legends 2021 Rundown, we're going to review every single figure that came out in 2021, whether I got it or not. We're going over all of it, and I hope you are ready, because that video is going to be like 45 minutes long, and I'm putting a lot of work into it, so stay tuned. If you didn't check out the previous Marvel Legends Rundowns, I have done one for 2 more years prior, I think 2 years. Check it out. There's a playlist at the end of the video about my Marvel stuff. Go check out my other Marvel videos. Go check out other videos on my channel. I really appreciate all the support. And thank you to everyone that's already watched all the videos, liked them, commented, subscribed, and shared links on Twitter. You all are amazing. So be sure to check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for Marvel news and more. My awesome graphic designer on Twitter at darkclaw643. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.